transitions. I'm not sure
Oh,
whether you'll be knowing her, somebody known as Sangeeta Mallipan. So now she's left Accenture a few months back.
oh, okay. In fact, I was doing a transition role in the last 8 months, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
come across anybody called Sangeeta though.
And she's already left, see, about a
Yeah.
few months back.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, over to Piyush.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Good
This
morning.
is Piyush Jasuja. I'm a mechanical engineering graduate,
Mm-hmm.
and I work with Byju's, the learning app, as business development associate. I look
Okay.
forward to pursue MS in industrial engineering, my master's, which is in continuation with my engineering graduation,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the reason I will look forward to take up Six Sigma program.
All right. Okay. Welcome, Piyush. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, over to Ranjit. Guys, I'm not able to hear Ranjit. Are you guys able to hear him?
Mm,
No.
am I audible now?
Yeah. Hi,
Yes.
Ranjit.
Oh, sorry, I think it was with my mic. So I'm Ranjit. I'm associated with Novartis, a leading pharmaceutical company, for a little over 8 years, working in various disciplines of patient safety management, strategic alliance, and currently into vendor management.
Okay. Okay. Great to have you, Ranjit. Thank you. Okay. Next, we will move over to the next person.
Hi, sorry to interrupt. There's Rika who's joined the call.
Yeah.
So can I
Yeah.
go
I
ahead and
think.
introduce or should
Sorry, I didn't
yeah.
get the name.
So Rika.
Okay. Yeah, Rekha. Okay. Yeah, Rekha. Due to some reason, your name is not displaying. So go ahead, Rekha.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah. We can hear you.
Okay. So I'm Rekha and I'm working with Accenture. So it's been 2 years I'm in Accenture. Prior to that I was with Genpact. So I'm currently leading the marketing and sales support team with reporting background, and looking forward to know more about the quality perspective, because Accenture is all about whether it's quality controls and things like that. So just wanted to know more about it.
Yeah. So definitely, I mean, so you work in Bangalore, Rekha?
Yeah, I work in Bangalore. So I have overall 15 years of experience
Okay. All
in
right.
the operations background. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So, I mean, I was working with Honeywell on Bannerkata Road. I mean, both Kavya and Rekha. So, I used to keep coming to Accenture, and I know that quality is, when it comes to quality, it's very strict. So, like Honeywell, even Accenture is very strict about Lean and Six Sigma, and you guys also implement a lot of Six Sigma. So, I'm well aware of that. Okay. Thank you, Rekha. You can just mute yourself. I'll just go over to the next person. So, Gautam, over to you, Gautam. We missed your introduction because I think you were facing some issues.
Hi, ma'am. I'm Gautam. I have actually I am working for Tech Mahindra. My educational background is I'm a master's in machine design,
Mm-hmm.
mechanical engineering, and
Okay.
I have 3 years of experience. And presently, I'm working as a CAD engineer in Tech Mahindra. So I'm working for GE.
Okay.
So I need the basics of Six Sigma and all. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, ma'am, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I understand. So if you're working for GE Gotham, they'll expect you to speak in the Lean Six Sigma language. So my
Yes.
ex-boss in Honeywell was from GE Healthcare, from Hyderabad. So I used to work under a master black belt. So I know it's like Lean and Six Sigma is in the GE guy's blood. You can say like that. So
Yes, ma'am.
anyway, good to have you here. Okay, thank you, Gautam. So you can mute yourself, and then we'll move to the. I think we have two more people left. That's Saurav. Over to you, Saurav.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, Saurav.
Hello. Hi. Hi.
Saurav,
Good
we are
morning.
able to hear you. Yeah,
Hello. You hear me?
yeah, we are able to hear you.
Okay. Myself, Saurabh. I have. I'm working in Tata Yazaki
Hmm.
as an assistant manager in quality assurance. Uh,
Okay,
and my education background is I'm diploma in mechanical, and second one is I'm B in mechanical,
hmm, okay.
and
So you
I'm
have done
working
both
in a.
your diploma as well as your
Yeah.
engineering in mechanical.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm? Okay,
Yes.
all right. Thank you, Saurav. Good to have you here. Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Next, we'll move over to Suraj. Kavya, I've just seen your message. Thanks for letting me know, Kavya. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Suraj.
No, hi, this is Tanya here.
Hi, Tanya.
Um, I am not able to see your screen, or is that a
Okay. So
possibility?
I'm not sharing anything as yet. Just give me
Acha,
one moment.
okay, okay, okay.
I
Yeah,
will just open up the PPT.
okay.
I think it would be a good thing to test whether everybody can also see my screen. Just give me 1 minute here. So, guys, just let me know whether you can see my screen. Okay. Let me know in case if you're not able to see my screen. I think everybody will be able to see my screen. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Tanya. I think looks like Suraj is facing some issues, so you can give us your introduction.
Hi, my name is Tanya. It would be a demo class for me right now, and I have not joined the program as of yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a overall experience of 7.5 years, and I'm currently working with ICICI Lombard. Uh, that's that right now.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. So I hope it will be a good demo for you. So I think let me see if I've missed anybody. I think I have just missed Arjit. Arjit, if you're, I mean, if you're able to hear me, you can start off with your introduction. I think we completed everybody else except for you.
Good
I
morning.
got to,
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
yeah. I got to know from Kavya that you were facing some issues. So I hope everything is fine now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely fine. And being part of Accenture, we are quite equipped to do everything. So I was doing some kind of troubleshooting to get it fixed.
Okay.
So,
All right.
good morning, everyone. This is Arijit. I'm part of, I stay in Bangalore and I'm working with Accenture from last 11 and a half years. And right now into operations, and I do a lot of transformation projects also. So that's the reason I thought of doing the Six Sigma course.
Okay. All right. So Arjit, you, Kavya, and by any chance, Rekha, do you know both of these guys, like Arjit and Kavya, or you're from a different team itself?
Sorry, actually, if you can repeat that, it was not that
Okay.
clear.
I was just thinking whether you guys know Rekha or she's from a different team. So she also, I mean, you would see her as part of one. For some reason, her name is not displayed. So she's also from Accenture.
Yeah, I just heard the introduction. Not sure, but probably if we see her, probably we get to know.
Okay.
But I know Kavya, we have worked in the same project before.
All right. Okay, good to have you here, Archit. Okay,
Thanks.
so guys, I request everybody, whoever is not on mute, to put yourself on mute to just avoid any kind of background noise. I know it's not, absolutely we cannot have a pin drop silence. So because the session is getting recorded, as all of you know, we'll just so I'll try to maintain a silence from myself also. So I'm just putting myself on mute for a few seconds because there's a vendor passing by. Just give me 2 seconds. Thank you. Okay, Chitra, I had just put myself on mute for a few seconds because there was a vendor passing by, like, this street vendors who sell vegetables and all. So,
all right. Take it. Okay.
we missed your introduction. I think you were facing some issue or something. So, we are just left with your introduction and then I can get started off.
Introduction?
Yes, we all finished. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
So you started with me.
First, okay. Okay,
Yes.
sorry, Chitra. Actually, your name was showing 2 times earlier, so I thought this is a different Chitra.
All right. Okay.
All right. So I think we completed with everybody because sometimes we have people with the same name. All right, except for Suraj, I'm not sure whether Suraj is facing any issues. Anyway, we'll start off and then we can listen to him later. All right. Okay. So, guys, welcome to the session once more. And so I got to know about you all, and you have got to know me about me a little bit. So, of what I saw, most of you, the expectations and so I saw that most of you expect to learn a lot of Lean and Six Sigma, and basically you're here to know how to learn and implement Lean Six Sigma in your organizations. All right. And I saw that a few of you, I mean, we have people from almost all the backgrounds, so we will have a good interactive sessions. So let's start with our classes. And so first and foremost, so what comes to your mind when you hear the word Six Sigma? Let's start off with Six Sigma. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen now. I hope all of you, can I get one confirmation? Yeah, I hope all of you can see the notepad. I know that you can see the notepad. Okay, so what do you think? So what comes to your mind when you hear the word Six Sigma? So let's start talking about what is Six Sigma itself. Let's start from the basics. So all of you have come here with some view or some kind of meaning you have about Six Sigma in your mind. So what comes to your mind when you hear the word Six Sigma?
Quality.
Okay, so what we'll do is we will actually, so guys, we'll do it this way. Since it's an online session, we will interact over the chat. So I will speak and Unfortunately, why I don't want everybody to speak up is why we cannot allow is because there'll be some amount of background noise. And so I'll try to keep it at the minimum from my side. So you can respond over the chat. Okay. And looks like Suraj has also given his introduction. So let's quickly read through his introduction. Okay, so he's facing a network issue. All right. Okay, so let's continue with the class. So yes, quality, process improvement, yes, business process improvement, quality. So Ranjit says that Six Sigma in view is an effort to reduce variation in the output. All right, good. Error reduction. Okay, yes. So great, guys. So I'll just combine all your answers. So all of you have given the right answer. So I'll just combine your answer and put a simple definition for Six Sigma. So what is Six Sigma? So Six Sigma is a process improvement methodology. So I don't even have to type. I can just copy paste. Your answers are so perfect. So Six Sigma is a process improvement methodology. Yes. Now, so we all know that Six Sigma is a process improvement methodology, right? Or a business improvement process, right? Now, what is its focus? It focuses on, I think a couple of you have told me that. So it focuses on reducing variation and defects. So it's both defects or the errors and the variation, right? So Six Sigma is a process improvement methodology which focuses on reducing both variation and the defects or the errors, right? Okay, next, yeah, so next we will also talk about the 5 phases. I think some of you have already given. So Six Sigma, most of you know that Six Sigma can be implemented in 5 phases. So again, which are those 5 phases? So I'll just put it as can be implemented in 5 phases. And we know that it's very famous. So Six Sigma can be implemented in the 5 phases and it's very famous. The abbreviation is DMAC. Most of you know that. Okay, so Tanya, answering your question. So guys, so this is the way we will be interacting on the chat. So whatever questions I ask you, you're responding already. You're getting used to respond on the chat and we will get to see each other's questions. So now I will respond to Tanya's question. So Tanya, when we have variations, so for example, let's talk about, let me see if I have a good example for variation. Just give me 1 minute here. I'll just pull up a good example for variation. Okay, so I'll just take up this example to answer Tanya's question. So Tanya, what is this? I mean, this is an ECG, right? Most of you know that this is an ECG, right? So what happens whenever, usually when a person is, you know, operated or, you know, just right after a surgery or some procedure, generally you would see the person in an ICU and, you know, a small wire attached to his finger and then, you know, his pulse rate or his heartbeat is monitored, right? Now in this, you can see variation over here, right? You can see variation over here. Okay, now suppose if the variation is like this. See, some amount of variation is natural. Variation is natural. So guys, it's not only for Tanya, for everybody. So variation is common. It's natural. The entire universe works on the law of variation. Variation is something which is common and which is natural. Now, in this case, it is too much of variation, right? What does it mean? Too much of variation. So what does it mean? Yes. So too much of variation means, like Arjit says, it's an unstable process. There's something wrong with the person's error. In this case, yeah, there's something wrong with the person's health, right? On the other hand, okay, if it's a straight line, then what does it mean? No variation. What does it mean? If there's no variation, what does it mean in this case? Yeah, in this case, it's bad. So no variation in this case means that the person is dead. Yes. Okay. So going back to say, so both, see, variation is good, variation is natural, but too much of variation or too less of variation, is a problem. So it again depends on case to case. I just thought I'll give this as an example. So variation, so at the end we can conclude that variation is natural and it is good, but it becomes a problem when it is too much of variation or too less of variation in some cases. So we need to keep that in control. So Six Sigma helps us to reduce this variation, right? Okay. So going back to the notepad. Okay, so guys, what I generally do is I actually, because this is an online class, so we don't have access to write on a whiteboard. So this is my whiteboard. So whatever I'll be writing into the notepad so that all of you can see. All right. So I hope you have understood, Tanya. Hope I have answered your question. Yes. So I'll take up other examples. So even coming to the industry, productivity is good. Okay. Average productivity. So too less of productivity means that the person is not performing. And again, sometimes, see, it's actually good to have a person with too much of productivity. But very, very high productivity, actually, as a manager, as a team lead, sometimes we tend to think that maybe there's a person in our team who's having very, very high productivity, but you tend to think, you have your own doubts saying that, is this person doing everything right, or is he skipping something, some compliance issue? Yeah. So too much of productivity also, we need to keep a check whether the person is doing everything fine. All right. Okay. Next. So as we know that Six Sigma can be implemented in 5 phases, and we have already given the full form of these. So I just copy pasted from your chat. So we know that the 5 phases are define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. Right. So we will be discussing this in detail shortly. Okay. Okay, Arjit, just now I saw your point. So guys, sometimes I may take some time to, read your messages because I'm teaching as well as keeping a tab on the chat. Yes. So Arjit, I agree to you. In most of the cases, variation is good. Yes. But as Saurabh says, it should be within the upper and the lower limit. It should be maintained within that. All right. Okay. So we got to know what is Six Sigma and what is the focus of Six Sigma. We got to know why variation is important, and we got to know the 5 phases of Six Sigma. Next, let's move to a little bit of the history of Six Sigma. So which company started off with Six Sigma? Okay, so I'm just waiting for the answers. Yes. So whoever has said Motorola, Kavya, Nilesh, Suraj, all of you are right. Okay. So Six Sigma was started off with Motorola, but again, whoever has said G, Ranjit and Chitra and all, you guys are also right in a way. So I'll tell you what exactly happened. So Six Sigma was started by Motorola, but after some time, so they were the pioneers in Six Sigma, but after some time they lost it, right? And that's when in the 90s, so G started with Six Sigma in the year 1995, and um, after some time when Motorola lost it, it was really G who picked it up, and G really, in one of the years, I think that was the year 2000, when G had a huge revenue of about $2 billion. With the help of Six Sigma, they achieved a revenue of $2 billion. So about 18 years back, achieving a revenue of $2 billion, that at that point of time it was a huge sum of money. And after that, Six Sigma became very famous. G made Six Sigma very famous, and everybody wanted to learn and implement Six Sigma. Okay, so even though it was started by Motorola, but it was G who really made Six Sigma very famous. Okay, okay, so guys, Piyush just wants me to repeat the definition of Six Sigma because he was having a network issue. So guys, one more tip, not only for Piyush, but for everybody else. I'm quite sure, I know some of you may be attending online session maybe for the first time or whatever. So I advise you to, if you can connect directly using a LAN cable, it'll be a great experience. On the other hand, if you're using a dongle, or even if you're on Wi-Fi, sometimes you may have a break in my voice. So like you see, I mean, as you see, I'm directly connected to the LAN cable. Okay, try doing that, then you will not have a break in my voice. Right? Okay, so yes, so started by, let's put the notes over here, started by Motorola and made very famous by GE. Okay, so when did they make very famous? I will just put it over here. Started by Motorola and made very famous by GE in 2000, when GE had a revenue of $2 billion. So that's a huge amount of money, especially at that time. Okay, okay, so that was about a little bit of the history and evolution of Six Sigma. So I think we have learned a couple of things about Six Sigma, the 5 phases, the what is Six Sigma, and then a little bit about the history of Six Sigma. Next, we will move into the technical definition of Six Sigma. So Piyush, it's a process improvement methodology. So this entire thing is the definition, whatever you see on the notepad. It's a process improvement methodology, and it is implemented in 5 phases, focuses on reducing defects and variation. So now I will give you the technical definition, Piyush. So guys, can you tell me, if somebody asks you, what is Six Sigma? A technical definition of Six Sigma. So what would be a technical definition of Six Sigma? Okay, so I'm talking in terms of numbers, Ranjit. Yes, exactly. Yes, so Six Sigma is nothing but making just 3.4 defects per million opportunity. I'm quite sure, you guys would have come across this. So the technical definition in terms of numbers, right? So Six Sigma is nothing but making just 3.4 defects in million opportunities, right? So it is abbreviated as DPMO. I'm quite sure you guys would have come across this. So Six Sigma is nothing but making just 3.4 defects per million opportunity, or DPMO. So that stands for defects per million opportunity. Okay, so I'll just use short forms. So what does it mean? So Piyush, I hope you have got the technical definition by now. So what does it mean? It simply means that if there are a million opportunities of making errors, but you just end up making the Six Sigma process, or the Six Sigma company ends up making only 3.4 defects per million opportunities. Yes. Okay. So guys, I'm a person who really does not, now talking a little bit about my way of teaching, I'm a person who does not believe in just running through the slides. Okay, so most of you have been given the material, or many times you will have access to the material. But still, why did you attend this class, or why did you enroll for this class? Because it's just not about going through slides, it's about learning something together, right? So again, I hope everybody is making notes. So either in your notepads, on the laptop, or a physical notepad, it's good to make notes, because down the line, what happens, maybe after 6 months, you tend to forget the concept, and notes will help you to recollect. Okay, and again, coming to my teaching, I'll be making use of a lot of visuals, a lot of pictures, because I believe that most of us learn better when we look at a picture or a visual or a diagram. Okay, so Piyush, I just request you to reply all or ping everybody. So whenever you ask any questions, everybody will not be able to look at your chat if you reply in private. So guys, I request all of you to use everybody in the chat box, so that all of you can get to see each other's question and each other's responses. Unless if you have to tell me something privately, like if you have to go a little bit early or something, you can just reply to me in private. Okay, so Piyush, you can just choose everybody in the chat box drop down. Yeah, thank you, Piyush. Okay, so let me quickly open up. Like I said, we adults, most of the adults, we learn better when we see a diagram or a picture. So let me quickly open up a diagram related to this, so that you can understand better. Okay, guys, just wanted to check on one more thing. So there are some kids in the neighborhood. I'm not very sure whether their voice is coming in the recording. The kids are just screaming down. So just wanted to know if their voice is coming into the recording, because the session is getting recorded. Okay. So I usually do sessions on WebEx also. So it looks like GoToMeeting is not very sensitive to the background noise, but on WebEx, even one small noise will be captured into the recording. Anyway, good. So let me know anytime these kids, if you can hear. I mean, they are small kids, but I'll just tell their parents to close the door or something. Okay. All right. Yeah. Just one thing. So I got to know most of you are from Bangalore. Anybody taking this session from outside India? Because normally I get students, when I take evening classes, I do get students, international participants also. So just wanted to make sure while giving the breaks, I keep the time zone in mind. Anybody who's, let me know if anybody is taking this session outside of India. Okay, looks like we don't have anybody. Yeah, normally we would get people in the evening sessions from elsewhere. All right, so coming back to Six Sigma. So let me quickly explain this picture to you, what you see over here. Okay, so just we will give one example over here. So let's say that we have opened a company, and let's say our company is Infosys. So I'll be giving you a lot of examples from Infosys and Honeywell and all, because I've worked in these places. Now let's say we open Infosys, and in the first year when we opened the company, we were at a 1 sigma. Let's say that we didn't have any knowledge about quality and defects and all. And at that point of time, we were making about, when we measured, we were making about 6,91,000 defects out of 1 million, or 10 to the power of 6 opportunities. Okay. Next, slowly down the line, we understood what is quality, and we started doing some amount of root cause analysis. All of you know what is root cause analysis, right? So we started doing root cause analysis, and a few months down the line, we drastically reduced our defects, right? And you can see the defects coming down over here. We almost reduced to more than half. We came down to 3,90,000, 9,000 defects per million opportunities. So remember, guys, that everything is out of 1 million over here. The denominator is 10 to the power of 6, or 1 million opportunities. Okay. Next, maybe after some time, we started doing some more audits, and we brought ourselves to 66,800, and now we are at a 3 sigma. And finally, let's say that we started doing some lean 6 sigma, projects, and after a few years, we landed up at 6,210, and now we are at 4 Sigma. And finally, after that, we started doing continuous improvement, and finally, we came to a 5 Sigma. And after many years, we became perfectionists. Okay, so it's a little bit difficult to write with this pen, but I'm just managing. I hope you guys are able to read it, right? So after some time, we became perfectionists after many years, and finally, we are at 6 Sigma. Okay, so I just explained to you. So I hope everybody understood this. So over here, this is a universal standard. Okay, so when I say 1 Sigma, it means that it is 6,91,000 defects per million opportunities. So this is a universal standard which is followed worldwide. 5 Sigma means it is 233 defects per million opportunities. Okay, so again, guys, coming to the exam, right? So it's an open book exam, so you don't have to worry about remembering all these numbers. This slide is there in your material, so you just have to, anytime there is a question on this, you just have to look at the slide and answer the question. Okay, so good question, Ranjit. So Ranjit, this is actually brought out by, this was defined by Motorola. Okay, and why did they choose, answering your first question, why did they choose 1 million as the denominator? They wanted to extrapolate to 1 million. For example, if you are making, one defect out of 100, so they wanted to extrapolate to how many defects, out of 1 million opportunities. Okay, so maybe shortly I will show you the calculation. Okay, some way of extrapolation. I'll go to the calculation maybe after the first break. I'll show you how to calculate the sigma value, then you will have a far better understanding. And yeah, since Motorola started off with this or made this, defined this, so whoever implements Six Sigma, they have to follow this. So it's a universal standard. So what I mean, Ranjit, is like, suppose you have a company who has a branch in Japan and in Bangalore. So if the Japan branch tells you that we are at a 5 Sigma, then you don't really have to ask them. You can very well understand that they're making 233 defects out of 1 million opportunity. So that's how it's a standard. Okay, so Arjit, we will come to the defects part. In fact, now I don't want to, yeah, sorry, we'll come to the percentage part. We'll do it a little later because now I didn't want to confuse everybody with bringing in the percentage. Yes, you are kind of right. So just that I wanted to go step by step so that people do not get confused. Definitely, it's tied back to the percentage. I'll tell you that shortly. Okay. Thank you, Arjit, for understanding. All right. So everybody understands this. So again, you don't have to memorize this. You can just so let's also practice on some questions of the exam. While teaching itself, I'll ask you a few questions orally. Now, suppose a company is at a 4 Sigma. How many defects are they making out of 1 million opportunities currently? So this is one way of asking the question. On the other hand, the other way of asking the question is, now a company is making 66,800 defects out of 1 million opportunities. What is their current sigma level? This is the other way of asking the question. Yes, so just getting you used to the exam pattern. Okay, all right, so everybody understands this. So going back to the notepad, so whatever we are going to be doing, we are just going to be putting it in the notepad. Okay, so we know the technical definition of Six Sigma. Now we'll also look at lean. So this course is a combination of both lean and Six Sigma, right? So we'll also be looking at lean. So guys, I also, before moving on to lean, I also wanted to show you what we are going to be covering in this 4 to 5 days. So all of you know the 5 phases by now of Six Sigma. All of you had an idea before itself about the 5 phases. So this is pretty much what we are going to be learning under the 5 phases. Okay, just thought of sharing this with you. So after learning the basics, so now we are learning the basics of Lean and Six Sigma. After learning the basics, we'll go into the define phase. So today we will complete the define phase. We'll be learning about what is a project charter, what is SIPOC, and I think today we can do a little bit measure also. So these are the things we are going to be learning under measure. That's how to calculate your sigma value. Something called as process capability we'll touch upon next week. And then in the future sessions, we'll be doing our analyze phase. So these are some of the tools we'll be learning under the analyze phase, test of hypothesis, and the basic analyze tools. Under the improve phase, we will be learning about how to select the solutions by doing cost benefit analysis, how to do a pilot implementation. And then finally, in the control phase, we'll be talking about the control charts, the control plan. So I'm quite sure most of you have come across some of these tools, know already some of these tools like Pareto chart, 5i analysis, some of the common tools. Okay, now apart from this, we'll also be learning some supporting concepts. So when I say supporting concepts, it's like this do not really fall into any phases as such, the supporting concepts. If you ask me if, so these are some supporting concepts which really do not come under or fall under the DMAC, the 5 phases. So we'll be talking about normal distribution, we'll be talking about sampling, we'll be talking about basics of statistics. We need to learn some basics of statistics because in Six Sigma, we use some statistics. Okay. We'll also learn about types of data and coming to lean tools. Yes. So we will be learning the 8th waste of lean. We'll be learning some simple tools like Pokeyoke, Kaizen, Kanban. And of course, if we have time, we can look at some more tools. Okay. So maybe I can just add FIS and visual management over here. Okay. And at the end, guys, again, after completing all this curriculum, so this is pretty much what you're going to be learning in the next 4 or 5 days. So after completing this, if we still have time, if you guys want to learn about any topic which is not here and which is useful for the rest of us, please do let me know. I can take up that additional topic for you all. Okay. So we will have limited time, 16 hours. So if we are left with some more time at the end, we can definitely take up some ad hoc topics, some additional topics. All right. Okay. So let's go back to our lean. So far we learned about Six Sigma. And so this course, like I said, is a combination of lean and Six Sigma. So let's talk about lean now. We have learned enough about Six Sigma. So yes, so Kavya, when I teach you these tools, like for example, Pareto chart, okay, so maybe I can just highlight whatever I'm going to be showing you in Minitab. So guys, for the others, what is Minitab? Minitab is a statistical software. So I'm going to be showing you how to do this Pareto chart or the control chart in Minitab, which is a statistical software. It looks very much like Excel. Chitra, report writing. Okay, Chitra, maybe you can just ping me privately and let me know what exactly. Okay, so are we talking about the project report? Something like a storyboard at the end? Is that what you're referring to? The storyboard. Okay, you're referring to a metric scorecard. Is that what it is?
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Aisha.
Hello, Asha. Asha, what I'm primarily looking at is what would be the general, how do you write a quality report? Would it be the same as you first write design and then you write measure? Is that how it goes? Or can we also have a small session on actually how a report is to be written?
Sure. So I got it. So yeah, it is called as a storyboard. So whenever you complete a project, or you complete a process improvement, you actually, you said we actually go in the same order. That is, first you mention or you document, you define, then what you have done in measure, and then what have you done in the analyze, what were your outcomes, and finally what were the solutions you implemented and how are you controlling it. So this will be written in an order, and there is a template. So what I'll do is I'll just make note of it. I will show you showcase, it's called as a storyboard. Okay. So maybe next week I will show you how this looks like. I don't have one on my laptop currently. I need to pull something from the net. Okay. Okay. Guys, you put yourself on mute. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I've just made a note of it, Chitra, so that I don't forget. So I'll pull one storyboard. Yes, like you said, it goes in an order. First, we do go through the define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, and I will show you how the template looks like. Okay, Gautam, have you put a request to me, or it's just wanted to confirm whether it's by mistake? Okay, looks like it's by mistake. Okay, let's continue with our lean. So again, so we have discussed, we had a good discussion about Six Sigma. So let's talk about lean now. So what comes to your mind when you hear the word lean? Okay, so again, all of you have some fair idea or some basic idea about lean. So what comes to your mind when you hear the word lean? Okay, so lean is all about reducing steps, like Ranjit says. Chitra says Kaizen or continuous improvement. That's also a process improvement methodology, like Kavya says. It's all about eliminating waste. Rekha, now I can see your name. Yeah. Reducing steps or redundancy, reduce muda, like Nilesh says, waste reduction. Okay, good guys. So all of you seem to have a fair idea or good idea about lean. So combining everything, let me put combining whatever you have told me. So lean is also, so lean is yet another process improvement methodology, right? So lean is yet another process improvement methodology like Six Sigma. So what does lean focus on? So let's put the focus of lean again. So it is a process improvement methodology. So lean focuses on reducing waste primarily. Yes, eliminating or reducing waste. And then let me take few more inputs from your chat. Yes, most of you have spoken about waste. Okay, so lean focuses primarily on reducing waste and improving efficiency of the process. So some of you have told reducing the redundant steps or whatever. So I'll call it as an improving efficiency of the process. Yeah. So by reducing the repeated or the unnecessary steps. Definitely. So everything, yeah, Piyush, we can also say by improving the efficiency. Okay, so I can combine that. So focuses on reducing waste, thereby streamlining and improving process efficiency. Okay, so I hope everybody understood this. So lean is nothing but it is a process. It is yet another process improvement methodology which focuses on reducing waste, whatever unnecessary steps or redundant steps, thereby streamlining and improving the process efficiency, right? Okay, now next, taking on the question from Tanya, what is the difference between lean and Six Sigma? Okay, so Tanya, I will tell you, see, it's not only step reduction, it's a reduction of lot of waste. So we will be discussing the eighth waste of lean shortly. So you will understand when I discuss the eighth waste. So that's the next topic. We will put that. So when we discuss the eighth waste of lean, you will understand what exactly lean does. Okay. Now coming back to your question, what is the difference between lean and Six Sigma? So Tanya, lean is very easy to learn. It doesn't have any kind of I mean, it makes use of some simple calculations, but not really statistics. Whereas when you come to Six Sigma makes use of statistics to draw conclusions, to analyze. Okay, that's one of the key difference between the two. Lean doesn't use statistics, Six Sigma uses statistics. Again, if you ask me as a trainer, as a faculty, it is more easy to teach lean than Six Sigma. Coming from a learner's perspective, you will feel that when I teach you all these tools like the ways, Poke-Yoke, Kaizen, Kanban, FIS, whatever, visual management, all this will be comparatively easy to learn as compared to things like test of hypothesis or process capability or control charts and all that. Okay, so these are some of the differences, and the primary difference is, now going back, Six Sigma focuses on reducing variation and defects. Okay, so it's all about quality. They focus on quality, right? And coming down, lean focuses on streamlining, so they focus on efficiency, or I can say I mean, if I can put that, they focus on speed. So we can say that if Six Sigma is all about bringing up quality, then we can say that lean is all about increasing speed. Okay, so that is the intent of these two process improvement methodologies. Okay, so okay, before we move on, so I can just document that also, difference between lean and Six Sigma, so that you can have it on the notepad. Yes, so lean is easier to learn. To learn as well as implement. Okay, so lean is, if Six Sigma is about, so I'll use Six Sigma. If Six Sigma is about quality, then lean is about speed. Okay, so if Six Sigma is about increasing the quality, then lean is all about increasing the speed or the efficiency of the process. Okay, all right, so you will see that difference when you're learning. You will see that lean will be much easier. Okay, so let's see quickly, let's go through what we have learned so far about lean before we go to the eighth ways. So we know that this is yet another process improvement methodology which focuses on reducing waste and then thereby streamlining and improving process efficiency. So this is the difference. Lean is easier to learn and implement, whereas Six Sigma is a little bit difficult because it makes use of statistics. So if Six Sigma is about quality, then lean is all about increasing the speed of the process. Okay. Now, before we move to the eighth waste of lean, let's also talk about a little bit about the history of lean or the evolution of lean. Where do you think lean originated from? Okay, good question, Ardit. In fact, great question. So guys, This is the way we learn from each other's questions and responses. Okay, so I would say it's not just one way learning. It's not just you all learning from me. It's also I'm getting to learn a lot from your questions. Okay, great question by Arjit. So let me answer that. So Arjit, coming to your question, both Lean and Six Sigma, the bottom line is the cost. When you reduce the variation and defects, you achieve the bottom line. The primary goal would be to reduce on the cost. The same way, even Lean, when you increase the speed, what happens when you increase the speed of a process? So guys, this is a question to everybody. What happens when you increase the speed of a process? Cycle time will become less, yes, and productivity, yeah, productivity will become more. So at the end, what happens is you will need less people to do the same volumes or handle the same volumes, correct? So everybody is able to relate to this. When you increase the speed, the cycle time reduces, productivity is more, and the same volumes can be handled by less amount of people, less FTs or full-time employees. You will be saving on the cost of the bottom line. Both Lean Six Sigma focuses on reducing the cost. Okay, so coming to the big picture, so whichever projects you guys, I'm quite sure most of you have been a part of some of the other project, or currently you guys are doing some projects. So I'm quite sure your stakeholders will ask you or will look at the bottom line. That's end of the day, everybody focuses on reducing the cost. Yes, so coming to the next question, Tanya's question, can Lean be applied without Six Sigma? Definitely, Lean can be applied without Six Sigma also. So Tanya, how it goes is, see, we in fact did that in Honeywell. Okay, so all you have to do is, maybe I will also show you a video. Okay, I'll also show you a video maybe today, end of the day. Just remind me, I will show a video on Lean. You don't really have to do a Six Sigma project. You can just go about implementing 5S, visual management, Poke-Yoke is nothing but mistake proofing. So what happens because of all these Lean tools, the process becomes very systematic, hardly any waste. When you implement Lean, everything is very visual. Everything is very neat and clean, mistake proofed, hardly any defects because things are mistake proof. So what happens? It increases the efficiency of the overall process and reduces the defects. Okay, so maybe when I show you the video at the end of the day, you guys will understand how we can implement Lean in an organization without even implementing Six Sigma. So automatically after implementing Lean, Tanya, your defects will reduce and it will impact the cost. Cost will get reduced. Okay, so I think Ranjit has given a good example, the production of Rolls-Royce versus Maruti 800. Definitely Rolls-Royce will be produced in a much leaner environment. Okay, and of course, I mean, even Toyota, thanks for giving that, sharing that example, Ranjit. So even Toyota, if you, I mean, I'm not sure how many of you really had a chance to go and visit this Toyota Kirloskar plant or any of the Toyota plants. In Bangalore, there's one in Bidadi, Mysore Road. So when you go there, there's hardly anybody on the shop floor. Everything is so neat and clean, so lean. It's almost, so they have this fully automated shop floors where everything is automated because of implementation of Lean, and only when there's a problem, people come into the picture. So you can see the drastic reduction in the cost. Hardly any people to run this. Okay, people, when do people come into the picture? When there's a problem, people just come in and solve the problem. Okay, so how do we achieve this fully automated production lines? By implementation of Lean. Has anybody got a chance to see any one of these plants where not only Toyota, any of the other companies who have implemented Lean, especially automobile companies? Okay. Saurav, which one have you got a chance to visit? I mean, guys, I'm not sure about the other plants. Okay, Toyota. But if you are from Bangalore, you can take a letter from the company, and it'll be really good if you can visit this Toyota Kirloskar plant on Bidadi Road on Mysore Road. The area name is Bidadi. It's an industry. Oh, okay. They are your customers. All right. Okay. So going back to our lean. Okay. So guys, let me know anytime. So let me just quickly take a count of the number of participants as of now. So we have around 12 participants as of now, right? So anytime I may miss, so I will take some time to look at your questions, because while I'm teaching, I just want to finish off the concept and then answer your question. But in case if I've missed any of your questions, please do put it on the chat once more. Okay, because we have 12 to 13 participants, there are chances of missing anybody's question. Okay, so Nilesh says that they've also implemented lean in Sanofi. Okay, great. Okay, so there's another company which Nilesh talks about, that's Shanta Biotech, which is also, they have also implemented lean. Yes, so Nilesh, that's the next thing. In fact, when I was working for Honeywell, we implemented lean for the entire site in Bangalore. And we have our plants, manufacturing plants in Pune. So if anybody is from Pune, you can also take permission from Honeywell and go and look at this plants where it is fully implemented with lean. Okay. All right. Now, so I will just show you a video on lean at the end. Okay. Next, moving on. Yes. So the next question before moving on to so what have we learned about lean, the definition of lean, and what is the focus of lean, reduction of waste, and then the difference between lean and Six Sigma. Next, we will talk about the evolution. We started talking about the history or the evolution of lean. Yes, so lean comes to us from Japan, like some of you have said. Now again, which was the company which started off with lean? Who were the pioneers in lean? Okay, I'll give you a clue. It was not really Toyota. It was another automobile company whose name starts with an F. Yes, it was Ford. Yes, exactly. It was Ford. Okay. So even though, so people who have said Toyota are also correct in a way. So what happened is the same case like Six Sigma. So lean started with Ford as early as, I think, in the beginning of the century in 1913. Ford was, so it was Henry Ford, the CEO of Ford, then who started with lean, very early forms of lean. And the same story, after some time, even Ford lost it. Okay, so it was really Toyota who picked it up in somewhere in 1930s, and Toyota implemented lean in their production systems, and it became very, very famous from then on. Okay, so it's the same story, even though Ford started off with it, but it was made very famous by Toyota. And today, whatever most of the lean practices or lean techniques, lean tools we learn, is most of them are from Toyota. Okay, so I can just put that, I can just copy paste over here and put that over here. So started by Ford, and made very famous by Toyota. Okay, so today most of the things what we learn is from Toyota, and I'm quite sure most of you know what is TPS, the very famous TPS. So that's nothing but Toyota Production System. How they have implemented lean in their production system. I'm quite sure many of you have heard about TPS. Heard about TPS, Toyota Production System? Okay, that's nothing but how Toyota has implemented lean into their production system. So that's called as TPS. Okay, all right. Next, so after knowing a little bit about the evolution or the history of lean, now let's look into the eighth waste of lean. So guys, now are you able to hear the children crying? I'm not sure. Okay, maybe she will just be okay within some time. Otherwise, I'll just have to put on mute for a few seconds. Okay. I mean, the thing is, whenever somebody goes out of the house, the child wants to go with them. She's about 2 years old, and that's when she cries. Okay, so let me take up Piyush's question till then. Okay, so Piyush, to your question, see, initially it may look like we are actually, with lean, we are increasing the cost. Okay, but maybe right now we will look at the eighth waste, then you will get an understanding that eventually, even though initially it appears that lean will increase the cost for you, whether it's raw material or increasing the speed or whatever, but eventually lean focuses on reducing the cost. So you'll understand shortly once we go through eighth waste of lean. Okay, all right. Now let's talk about the eighth waste of lean. Again, I know that most of you know about the eighth waste of lean. But again, guys, just hold on. I don't want anybody to give the eighth waste of lean. Okay. Now, why I don't want you to give the answer is because I know there are some people, a few of us who do not know about the eighth waste of lean. So what we'll do is people who know the waste, just hold on. We'll give a chance to the new people who don't know about the eighth waste of lean. We'll play it like a game. So I'll give you the waste and you help me identify or guess the waste. Can we play a game like that? Okay, so that way we'll help the others who are new to learn the eighth waste of lean. Okay, so just give me 1 minute. I will just open up something in an Excel sheet and then we can. So in an online class, you have to make use of notepads, Excel and all. So let me quickly make use of Excel to do that. Okay. So like we said, we'll play a small game, right? So let's help the people who are new to the eighth waste of lean to guess the wastes. So all I can tell you, I mean, of course, some of you who already know the waste, you know that we can remember the eighth waste of lean by using this acronym downtime. Of course, we have also come across other acronyms like .wimp or Timwood. Some of you already gave me that. This is good for the 7 wastes. Okay, so earlier we had the 7 waste, but now we have the 8th waste, one new waste. And recently in my class, somebody told me that there's a new 9th waste also. I forgot what is that, but they told me that there's a 9th waste which they have come up with. So the downtime will be a good acronym to remember the 8th waste of lean. Okay, now I'll give you the waste, and I want people who are new to the waste to guess this and give me the waste. Okay, now I am something which is there everywhere I'm a waste which is there everywhere. There is no place without me. I'm everywhere. Okay, so it's defects. So there is no place without defects, correct? In fact, I would say that because of defects, there's no place without defects. And in fact, I would say that because of defects, because defects exist, people like me have a job. So because of defects, we have come up with methodologies like Lean and Six Sigma. And because of Lean and Six Sigma, people like me have a job. Right? Okay. So defects are there everywhere. Now, what does defects lead to? Why do you think it is a waste? So as we go through each one, we will also explain. Why do you think defects is a waste? Yeah, it leads to rework. So again, rework is a waste of time and energy, and of course, it can be converted into cost. Yes, so defects is a waste because it leads to rework. It's a waste of time and energy. Of course, it can be converted into cost. Waste of resources, whatever. Bottom line, it will be get cost. Okay, so defects is a waste. Next, so I'll give you an example for the next one. Now, suppose I'm the customer and I have ordered 200 cars with you all. I'm your customer. Let's say you are Toyota. All of you are working for Toyota and I've ordered 200 cars. Now, what you guys do is you go ahead and produce 210 cars, 10 extra cars. On the day of delivery, am I going to be buying this 10 extra cars from you? Yes. So what is the waste over here? It is overproduction. I've ordered only for 200 cars and you guys have produced 210 cars. I'm not going to be buying this 10 additional cars from you. So what's going to happen to this 10 additional cars? What will you do with it? Yes. So what do we need for this 10 additional cars? We need space. Your warehouse space is blocked, right? You need to store these cars somewhere. Space is blocked. Space means cost. Then your money is blocked. You need to wait for the customer to come and buy this. Yes, like Nilesh says, you need to wait for the customer to come and purchase this. Your money is blocked till then, depending on the cost of the car. Let's say each car is 10 lakhs. It's 1 crore rupees, which is stuck. You could have used it for something else. Yes. And again, finally, what happens? After some time, the model of the cars change. The model of the car changes. So things like model of the car. For clothes, in case of clothes, the fashion changes. So what do you have to do? At the end, you have to sell it at a discounted price. You will face a loss. Correct? Because model of the car, in case of clothes, fashion changes, you will have to sell it at a discounted price. So that will be loss. Okay. Next. So you know that overproduction on the whole is not good. It's a waste. Okay. Next, we will talk about, so guys, I will go in an order. Now, let's say now you're going to a hospital or a school or a bank. Would you like to stand in the queue for a long time? Nobody likes to wait there, right? When you go to any place like a hospital or a bank or a school, you just want to get serviced as soon as possible, right? So what is this time standing in a queue? It's nothing but it's a waste of time. That is waiting time. Okay. So waiting time, not just waiting in a queue. So I'm not just talking about waiting time, not just waiting in a queue. It's like waiting time between two process steps also. Yes. So it's not just waiting time in a queue, it's waiting time between two process steps also. So many times, have you seen you're waiting for an approval and you're just waiting to do the next step? Okay, thank you, Tanya. Tanya, if you can just talk to us for 1 minute before you leave, that'll be great. I mean, if you can.
Hi. Yeah, tell me.
Okay, yeah, just wanted your feedback. I mean, if there was anything
No,
which
it
I
was
would.
great. This is my first time that I'm, attending an online class, and it was really nice. The way you explained it was great. So looking forward to, join from the day one of mine. That this was a demo class, so I'll not go ahead and,
Okay, sure,
stay.
no problem. So you can join us on your day one from the next batch.
Definitely, definitely. Thank
Okay,
you so much,
thank you,
Aisha.
Tanya.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys, so she was here just for a demo. Maybe she's not free this month, so she just wanted to attend and see the session, and she'll be joining for the next batch. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, coming to the waiting time, yes, it can be reduced by proper planning. Now, many times you would have seen that, you're waiting for some process, some approval, and then only you can start off with your process or your work, right? So there's a lot of waiting time in between. All right. Next, I will come to this waste at the end. Okay. I'm just leaving this as pending. I'll come to this at the end. I'll talk about it in the last. Next, coming to the next one. So all of you are from different cities, right? I mean, most of you are from Bangalore, and where are the other people from? So Nilesh is from Goa, Chitra is from Delhi, Pune, Jabalpur. Okay, okay. Looks like we have all national integration here. All right. Okay. Now, why didn't you guys come and attend a classroom session in Bangalore with me? You could have done that. You could have come over here and attended a classroom session. Why didn't you all do that?
So this was the first class, probably everybody would have thought.
Okay, so the reason why you didn't do that is because of the cost, right?
I
The
am in the class.
transportation. Yes, the transportation, right? So transportation is a waste. What does it lead to? It's a waste of time, energy, and money. I mean, of course, you guys, I mean, who are in Bangalore would have loved to, have this as a classroom session. But again, nowadays it's.
Oh.
Okay, guys, I request you to put yourself on mute.
Exam laga.
Okay, so guys, I think we had a new participant joining us, Suchak. So maybe he's just joined us. Okay, so to continue.
I've just joined actually.
Yeah, Suchak, yeah. So Suchak, to avoid any kind of background noise, we are actually putting everybody on mute. So you can just mute yourself, and whatever you have missed, you can catch up with the recording. So we are just doing the waste of lean.
I was on the overeating for last 15 minutes. Just I'm okay.
Oh, okay, fine. I didn't realize that. So the beginning you have missed, and yeah, Suchak, we also had a small round of introduction. So if you can just introduce yourself and then go on mute, it'll be great.
Yeah, I am there in the services looking after the logistics of the defense forces here in Punjab area. So with about extent of 20 years of service to the logistics.
Okay.
So this is what I'm into, to have some refining to the profession. Probably this Six Sigma would help me better.
Okay. So you're into logistics and you want to refine your process. So which company is it, Suchak, you work for?
I work for the logistics support of the defense.
Oh, okay. So you're from defense. Okay, great. I mean, we almost have people from all the different industries, and great to have you from the defense
Thank
area.
you. Thank you so much. Same this side.
All right. So you can continue. Maybe you can just put yourself on mute, so any kind of background noise.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. So this session is getting recorded, Suchak. You can actually, once the recording is shared with you all, you can, whatever you miss, you can catch up with the recording. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now coming back to this transportation waste. So all of you did not attend this session. I mean, why are you taking it as, so this is an example of transportation waste. So today we have more of online classes to avoid this transportation. So we all know that transportation is a waste of time, energy, and money, right? So even in your offices, you work with people around the globe. So generally you don't travel. I mean, if you have an option of taking a meeting over voice conference, video conferencing, or WebEx, you generally do that. Nowadays, even interviews are mostly on Skype or WhatsApp or whatever, on WebEx and all. So we really try to avoid this transportation. Okay. Not only that, see, earlier we used to book movie tickets. How do we, coming to movie tickets, we used to go and purchase the tickets, right? And then even come back home, wait for some time and go to the theater again when the show starts. But today, how is it? It's everything is online. That's all to reduce the transportation. Okay, so again, guys, I'm not saying that we can have a online, I mean, we can have a classroom session because we don't have everybody from Bangalore. We will continue with our online mode itself. But if everybody was from Bangalore, we could have had a classroom session. I mean, we generally do that for corporate. When one company invites us, we generally have a classroom session. So I just gave that as an example. Yes. Okay. Yeah, Piyush, I definitely agree with you. Online session saves a lot of transportation costs. Not only that, see, you guys are, you know, I don't think so. On a Sunday, anybody wants to get up and get dressed and travel outside to reach the training, right? It's much more comfortable to take these sessions from home itself. I don't really like to dress up and then go out and take the session. I'm quite sure at least the ladies will agree with me. Yeah, there's so many examples. Even food delivery, Swiggy, Zomato, all these apps. These are all focusing on to reduce the transportation. All right. Okay, next. Now, coming to the same example of this 200 cars. Yes. So you remember that about the 200 cars. So going back to the same example, so initially I ordered 200 cars and you guys went ahead and produced 210 cars, right? So you faced a loss. So this time you're more careful, you're more smarter. So what happens is, again, I'm coming back to you the second time, again, I'm ordering 200 cars, but this time you're more careful or you're more smarter. What you're doing is you're buying the parts for 210 cars. Okay, you're buying the parts or the raw material for 210 cars, but you're going ahead and producing only 200 cars. Okay, so I'll explain that once more. So I'm ordering 200 cars. You're buying the material or the parts for 210 cars, but you're producing only 200 cars. So what is the waste over here? Yes. So inventory to a certain extent is required, but when does it become a waste? When it is excess inventory. Too much of inventory beyond a certain limit is a waste. So what happens to this parts of the 10 extra cars? What will you do with it? Yes, again your money is blocked. You need space also to store this. Again, your money is blocked depending on the cost. Yes, but if I ask you which is a better waste, overproduction or excess inventory? In both the cases, your space is blocked, money is blocked. But if I ask you, if I give you a choice, which is a better waste, most of you would be say excess inventory, because what happens is this inventory or parts can be reused for some other model of the car. That's the benefit, right? Whereas in the second one, you're already producing the car, the finished good is ready. You have to sell it at a particular price or a discounted price, whatever. In this case, the inventory or the parts can be reused for some other model of the car because you haven't, manufactured the end product or the finished good here. So like Kavya says, it can be reused. All right. Okay. Next. Now, suppose you can imagine that, let's say that all of us were sitting in a classroom session. Maybe we are sitting in the ground floor of a building, and I have kept a printer on the 4th floor of the same building. So I'm asking you to I want some printout. So I send all of you from the ground floor. The printer is on the 4th floor. So what kind of a waste does it occur? Yes. So again, motion to a certain extent, movement to a certain extent is required, but excessive motion is what becomes a waste. Inventory also to a certain extent is required, but beyond a certain level, it becomes a waste. Okay, same way, excessive motion is a waste. So again, it's a waste of time and energy. So what if I would have just kept the printer on the same floor, one corner of the room? Yes, it would save a lot of time and energy. And of course, it improves the safety also. So you guys have to run up and down the elevator, the lift, lift or the elevator or the stairs. That also increases the risk. So this also reduces the risk or increases the safety. Okay. All right. Now, let's come to the last one. Now, suppose I ask you to paint the classroom with 3 coats of paint. And you guys go ahead and paint it with 5 coats of paint. I'm asking you to paint it only with 3 coats of paint. And you guys go ahead and paint the classroom with 5 coats of paint. Yes? I've told you only for 3 coats of paint, and you guys are painting it with 5 coats of paint. Am I going to be paying you for that extra 2 coats? No. It is extra processing or over processing. Yes? So it is extra processing or over processing. I'll give you one more example. So this was about the 3 coats and 5 coats of paint. Okay, next, one more example. Suppose your manager asks you to pull a report with 10 fields of data. For some reason, he wants you to pull 10 fields of data, of employees' data, like name, address, designation, salary, whatever. Maybe he wants to give some award or whatever. He wants this data for something. And you go ahead and pull a report with 12 fields of data. Okay, he may not even look at this 2 additional fields of data. You're spending time and effort on pulling these 2 additional fields of data, but he may not even look at that. Okay, so that is another example of extra processing or over processing. All right. Okay, now we are left with the last one. So we have all the 7 waste. So we have defects, overproduction, waiting time, transportation, excess inventory, excessive motion, extra or over processing. Now coming to the last one. Okay, so guys, what we'll do is we will take a break. So we started around 10 o'clock and it's going to be 12 o'clock shortly. So what is the time which they have given to you? For this session, just wanted to check on the timing, on the end time which they have informed you. Okay. That's what I wanted to know. Like some of you say 1 and yeah, because on GoToMeeting, I saw it as 2. So what do you guys want to do? I'll give you a break shortly for about 15-20 minutes. In case if you haven't had breakfast or something, you can do that. So today, do you guys want to continue till 2 or do you want to stop at 1? It's up to you. Okay. So Piyush, sorry, actually I'll have to go with the majority. I mean, I hope you understand. So since this is the first session, we will just stop at 1 today. And see, this is more for the basics and for you to get used to sitting on the laptop for about 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours. So you will get used to it. And from the next session onwards, so guys, can we have a 4-hour session from the next week onwards? 10 to 2? Is that okay? Yeah, I think you will get used to it. So I'll inform them accordingly. And don't worry, we will have sufficient breaks in between. Okay, all right. Okay, now before giving you the break, I will just so do you want me to come back and talk about this last waste after the break? Do you want the break right now or can I finish this off and go? Okay, so I'll just complete this and then give you the break. We'll come back and continue. All right, now coming to the 8th waste, we have discussed our 7 waste. Okay, now talking about the 8th waste, I'll give you a small story over here. I mean, it's a true story. In fact, a case study, whatever. All right. Now, I'm quite sure most of you, I mean, some of you who are here from the healthcare or from the pharmaceutical industry, you must have heard about this famous chain of hospitals in the US called as Virginia Mason Hospitals. Most of you from healthcare and pharma would have heard about this. This is a very famous chain of hospitals, like how we have Apollo or Fortis in India, Virginia Mason Hospitals. Now, this hospital wanted to implement lean. And before the implementation of lean, they wanted to understand where they stand in terms of before implementing lean. So they actually did a baseline audit, okay, to check where they stand before implementing lean so that they can compare. Like it's like comparing before and after. Okay, so it's like they wanted to do an audit, take some pictures to see how they look before and compare it to the after situation. So it's as simple as this. It's like, I mean, it's a funny example. So generally you see online, many times you see these pictures of how actresses look before makeup and after makeup, the comparison. So it's the same thing. They wanted to see how they were before lean and compare it after implementing the lean. Now, during this audit, so they called from auditors, external auditors, and during this audit, one of the auditors made a comment. So what was this comment? Let's scroll down to see what was the comment made by one of the auditors. So one of the auditors made this comment that nurses are used to transport patients for the various diagnostics tests. Nurses are used to transport the patients for the various diagnostic tests. So is there anything wrong in this? Okay, I'll give you an example. Yeah, it's like, I'll give you an example. It's like you're recruiting a manager. You're recruiting a manager. You will be paying him the salary of a manager. But because you don't have sufficient people, you're putting him on production. Even though you will be paying him the salary of a manager, but you're utilizing him for production rather than managing the production. I hope you have got it now, Arjit. You are putting him on production rather than using him to manage the production. Yes, so now everybody has understood it. So it's nothing but, like Suraj says, it's underutilization of skills or qualification. A nurse is skilled or qualified to administer drugs to the patient, to take care of the patient. Based on the doctor's advice, the nurse gives injections, drugs, takes care of the patient. Okay, so it'll be underutilization of her qualification, of her skills. If she is transporting, going around the hospital, transporting the patient for the various diagnostic tests, for the x-rays, for the scans, whatever. Ideally, who should be the person who should be doing this? It should be the ward boys. We generally call them as the ward boys, right? Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Yes, ideally it should be the ward boys who should be ideally going around doing this. Yes, exactly, Arjit. So it's like, I mean, I can talk about your team in Accenture. So it's like you have a very talented resource. Okay, but unfortunately, that person is not in the right place, or you're not able to utilize the skills of that person as a manager. So that is also underutilization. Okay. Okay, so Suraj also shares another term. They're called as foreman in the industry. Okay, thanks for sharing that, Suraj. I was not aware of that. Okay, so there are many examples of this. Sometimes, I mean, this is a funny example again, just on a lighter note. So sometimes, guys, you feel that you're stuck up somewhere like this, underutilization of your skills or your qualities or whatever, right? Okay, so that was just on the lighter note. So the last waste or the eighth waste is nothing but it's non-utilization or underutilization of skills. Okay, so it is the N is nothing but non-utilization of or underutilization of skills is the eighth wastes. All right. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll just copy paste this entire thing into the notepad. Okay, so you have the examples also over here. All right. Arjit, yes. So what I'll do is to keep it very lean, maybe I can just get one of your email IDs privately. And so guys, I mean, we will not encourage, okay, all of you can give me your email IDs privately. We'll see how we can share this. I mean, even the notepad, I really don't want to pass it to the institute because I don't want, see, because in the institute we have different batches, different trainers. So I don't want it to go to, this is only for my class. So I want just to circulate in this class. I don't even want to share it with the institute. So maybe I have just got one, I mean, I've got your email IDs. I'll see how to circulate this to you all. Or maybe what I can do, the best thing is, I will just create a Google Drive link and then I can post it over there, whatever documents I want to share. I'll share the link with you all and you all can download from there. That will be the best thing to get to do. Okay. Okay, so the link will be only with us, not shared with the institute. So we will have access to this and we can download the documents. All right. Okay, now looks like it's time for break because we have finished the basics of Lean and Six Sigma. We'll come back and continue with our define phase. Okay, we'll come back and continue with our define phase. So it's almost going to be 12 o'clock now, 5 minutes to 12. So we'll take, because it's a first session, we'll take a 20 minutes break. Okay, let's take a 20 minutes break. So we'll come back by 12:15 and we'll continue till 1 o'clock. Okay, so let's go for the break. So I'll just put it on the chat also. Okay, so I'll just put myself on mute and I'll continue with my break. Thank you. Okay, guys, so I hope everybody is back from the break. So let me just quickly take a look at the chat. Yeah, in this online sessions, unfortunately, we don't have a way to get to know whether people are back. So the only way is the chat. Okay, it looks like you guys are creating a WhatsApp group. All right. Okay. So, guys, unfortunately, I'm not on WhatsApp. I mean, because my daughter, because she takes, children really hook onto the phones nowadays. So, I'm just, in fact, if I had a choice, I really wanted to use a very simple kind of phone. But unfortunately, for the apps and all that, we have to use a smartphone. So, anyways, I'll create this Google Drive link, and whatever documents you need from my end, I'll be posting on that Google Drive link. Okay, so you guys can go ahead with the group, and yeah, that'll be a good idea. Right? Okay. Next. So far, just taking a quick look at what we did so far. So we started with the basics of Lean and Six Sigma. Today we did the basics of Lean and Six Sigma, and yes, first we looked at the basics of Six Sigma, and then we moved on to the basics of Lean, and we discussed the 8 ways of Lean in detail. Now, in the remaining half an hour to 40 minutes, what I thought is I will take two topics. So I will start off with the project charter today, right? So we will start off with the define phase, and we'll look at the project charter. And some of you also wanted to know about the sigma calculation. So what we'll do is we will also do the sigma calculation today. So whatever I'm doing, I'll just highlight in green, so we'll keep highlighting this sheet as in when we complete a topic. Okay, so we have completed the 8 wastes. So at the end, we can look at this sheet and we can get to know what we have completed. So we have completed the 8 waste of Lean, and we will be doing a project charter and the sigma calculation in the next half an hour to 40 minutes. Okay, so I'll just save this sheet. So we will start with the define phase now. So after we have looked at the basics of Lean and Six Sigma, we will get into the define phase. So what is the define phase all about? So what do you do? What do you think we do in the define phase? Yes, exactly. So let's put that before we get into each of the phases. So the define phase is all about defining the problem. Okay. So many times we face a lot of problem. See, we will not be able to solve a problem until we define it correctly, right? So generally we say that we will not be able to solve a problem until we are able to define it properly. So others should also understand what is the problem we are facing. So that's where everything, all about defining the problem comes in. And for defining the problem, we use tools like, the project charter, the SIPOC. These are the tools which are used for defining the problem. Next, after we define the problem, what do we do in the measure phase? Let's discuss this and then go into the project charter. So once we define the problem, the next is about measuring the problem. Okay, so I'll just give an example to you. So define the problem. Accuracy is low. Let's say defining the problem, I'm saying that accuracy is low. Now, if I just come and tell you that, guys, our accuracy is low, and we need to improve our accuracy, our process is not doing well, our accuracy is low, is that sufficient? What is the next question which you'll ask me? If I just come and tell you accuracy is low, that is sufficient? Yes. So the next question is, where are we measuring the problem? Correct. So you will ask me, what is the current baseline, the current performance? What is baseline? So during the measure phase, we calculate the baseline. What is baseline? We all know that is nothing but the current performance. Yes. So where are we currently? We are at, let's say we are at 95%, 90%. And of course, what is the target, right? What do we have to achieve? It's like 95%. Okay. So the measure phase is all about measuring the problem where we are currently, that is at 90%, and where we have to reach. So it's like we are here at 90%. This is our baseline, correct? And we have to reach 95%, which is our target. So this is the target, and currently we are at the baseline. We have to reach the target of 95%. Yes. So this is nothing but, this is a gap analysis. Generally, we call it as a gap analysis. This is what we do in the measure phase. We see where we are, the current baseline or the performance, and we see what's the target. We try to bridge this gap of the 5%. So what is the improvement we need to make? We need to make a 5% improvement. Yes. So it's all about measuring the problem. Exactly. Okay, Nilesh, I didn't understand your question. Nilesh, what is the limit? Are you talking about the numbers here? Okay, all right. Next, so once we measure the problem, next, what do we do in the analyze phase? Yes, exactly. Oh, okay. Yeah, your question is answered. Okay. Yes. So in the analyze phase, as the name itself, so far we have defined the problem. We have measured where we are, where we have to reach. Now we need to analyze the causes, not only the causes or the reasons, but we need to get to the root cause of the problem. Remember, Six Sigma not only talks about the reasons or the causes, it doesn't stop at the causes. We need to get to the root of the problem. So analyze phase is all about, I think some of you already answered that question. So Arjit said the next step is we need to find out what are the underlying causes, correct? Why the accuracy is low, right? So it's all about why the accuracy is low, the reasons, causes, and get to the root cause. Okay, so analyze phase is all about getting to the root cause of the problem. Okay, now we know, so define, measure, defining the problem, measuring the problem, analyzing the root cause. Now what do we do in the next phase? That's the improve phase. Yes, so you guys have already given me the answer. Take the preventive actions on the root cause. So take the preventive action, or that's nothing but the solution on the root cause, to attack the root cause. Yes, that's the improve phase. So can we close the project now? We have defined the problem, we have measured our accuracy, we have analyzed the causes, got to the root cause, and then taken the preventive action or the solution on the root cause. I think we can close the project now. Exactly. We cannot close the project. So many companies make this mistake. They don't give much importance to the control phase. We need to sustain, like Arjit says, we need to sustain. Yes, we need to monitor our process, our new process, and sustain the gains. Okay, we need to monitor our process and sustain the improvements, correct? See, many companies fail to do this. And what happens is, so what happens after some time, if you don't monitor your process, you don't control it and sustain the improvements, what happens after some time? You go back to square one. After some time, your accuracy will dip down to, will go below 95. Yes, so this is one of the very important phases of the project. We need to sustain the improvements. So generally, the action plan which we come up with, like Chitra says, we need to come up with an action plan. So generally, we use the control plan. Okay, so I'll just put that over here. We need to come up with a control plan. So we will discuss the control plan once we are in the control phase in details, all these tools. So guys, now you can relate back to these tools. So these are the tools to define the problem, to measure where we are, where we have to be. These are the tools which are used to analyze the root causes, then select the solutions, and then finally control plan, control chart. These are used to monitor and control your process. So now you can relate between the 5 phases and the tools used to do this. All right. Okay. Next, so we will start with our define phase now, since we know what is done in all the phases. Let's start with the define phase. And the first tool is the project charter. Okay. Now, I'm quite sure everybody has a fair idea. Go ahead, Arjit. I'll wait and then I'll get started. Go ahead. So till then, I'll just open a template of the charter to show you all. Okay. Arjit, I didn't pretty much understand discovery phase, a discovery stage. Like, what exactly do you mean by? Arjit, you can maybe unmute yourself and talk, no problem. I mean, sometimes we have to unmute ourselves and talk to clarify, so that's okay.
Hi. So the question is basically nowadays for any of the transformation projects, I see people, they do a lot of discovery initiatives.
Okay.
Okay, like, for any TET reduction project, instead of defining, they will first do a discovery stage.
Okay.
I'm sorry, now I have got vendors near my doorsteps.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's the thing in Bangalore, right? Morning you will hear Sappu Sappu, now some other vendors. Sorry for
Yeah.
that.
Where do you stay, Arjit?
I stay in Kumaraswamy layout.
Okay, okay. I mean, I stay in JP Nagar, so this side, South Bangalore, we really have a lot of
Yeah,
vendors.
yeah. So in between, I'll crack few jokes. Sorry for that. So my introduction was also a little bit like that. I said being part of Accenture, we are equipped to do everything. So that was on a lighter note. Sorry about that. So so just about that. I work with a lot of MC guys, the management consulting guys, and the Six Sigma guys. So I see nowadays, before this defined stage, they really get into this discovery mode.
Okay.
Discovery mode, particularly in a sense, like they oh my god, I'm sorry, probably I will put this question at the end of the day, or probably I can connect with
Not
you.
an
I'll probably we need to have a longer discussion on this discovery stage.
Sure, sure.
I'll
Not
put this at a later stage. Yeah, sorry
sure,
about
sure.
this.
No problem. Okay, so Arjit, maybe yeah, no problem. You can mute yourself. So guys, maybe I will just give you my view on this, and maybe Arjit, at the end, if you still want some clarification, you can get back to me. So guys, these projects happen in 2 ways. So coming to the identification of projects, A, okay, So when can you start off a Lean or a Six Sigma project is A, when you have a problem. Okay, like, you know, it could be like a metric is not being met, like your TAT is low or your accuracy is not met or whatever. Okay, to solve this problem, right? A, when you have a problem, and to solve the problem, and B, yeah, B, when you have to make an improvement. Okay, so I would say again, I'll redefine A. So you can do a Six Sigma project in two cases. A, when you have a problem, to solve the problem, it may not be necessarily metrics, it can be any problem. And B, when you have to make an improvement. In this case, I'm talking about low metrics. When you have to make an improvement, when your metrics are failing, like your turnaround time or your CSAT, or you have to improve your accuracy, right? On the other hand, so these are, I mean, these are the two cases where you'll do a Lean Six Sigma project. Now, on the other hand, sometimes it's like, for example, let's take the example of Accenture itself. The management of Accenture announces that this year we have to cut down, as per their strategy, they have to cut down on the cost of 10%, cut down 10% of the cost in every department of the operating cost. Okay. Now over here, you know, people like Arjit and Kavya, you know, they are forced to take these projects. Okay. So they will already have this in mind. The strategy or the goal is coming from the top, right? And the management wants them to cut the cost by 10% in every department. So they are translating this project into the DMAC. This is one way of getting a project. So I could say that this is a top-bottom approach. So it's flowing from the top, from the management to the bottom, to the other, you know, cascading. And on the other hand, these two projects, when you have a problem and when you have to make an improvement, these are generally following the bottom-top approach. You have a problem and then you cascade it, or you know, you just put it on the top. Okay, so you're actually bringing this problem or this improvement into the management's notice. Okay, so anyway, Arjit, yeah, if your question still remains, you can just catch up with me at the last. Maybe we can spend 5 minutes on that. Okay, all right. Okay, now continuing with the project charter. Okay, so all of you know what is a charter. I'm quite sure everybody, most of you over here have been a part of of any project. I'm not saying a Lean Six Sigma. Sorry guys, I think I had not shared the screen with you all. I just realized that. So these are the two cases, A and B, when you do a Lean Six Sigma project. When you have a problem, and another, A, when you have a problem, and B, when you have to make an improvement. And this is the top-bottom approach when the strategy comes from the management, and generally these projects are bottom-top approach. Yeah. All right. Now going back to the charter, I'm quite sure most of you or almost everybody would have been a part of some or the other project. It may not necessarily be a Lean Six Sigma project, some or the other project, right? So all of you know what is a charter. So what is a charter? So simple definition is it's a document which documents all the details about a project, right? So charter is a document which documents all the details about a project. It contains all the details about the project, right? In short, it is a document which contains or documents all the details about a project, right? Now, let's list down some of the common components of a charter. So what do you generally see in a charter? Let's list down some of the components. Yes. So like Ranjit and Nilesh says, the project plan, good. The timelines, start and end of the project. very important. Yes, the problem to solve. Generally, we put it in something called as a problem statement. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll list down the components and then I'll explain everything after I list down. So the project plan, the timelines, the problem statement, goal statement, baseline versus the target. Yes, what else? Scope, very important. Yes, sponsor. Yeah, I can put everybody as including your customers, whatever, sponsors. I'll put everything as stakeholders. So everybody comes under the stakeholders, your customers, your sponsors. Okay, next, even resources. Very important, you need resources for the project. Okay, so let me see if I have missed on anything. I think we have pretty much covered everything. Yeah, two things which we have missed out, probably I'll just put that on the notepad. Let me see if anybody is given it. Yeah, very, very important. Yes, the support. Like Saurav says, see, many projects fail in spite of having everything. If you don't get support from the top management, the projects fail. Okay, so that's very, very important, right? Yeah. Okay, so Arjit, what I'm saying is I'm keeping everybody in this, your stakeholders, sponsor, customers, all this within the stakeholders I'm covering. Okay. Okay. So two things which we have missed is, one is the business case. Shortly, I'll tell you what is the business case. And another thing is, see, everybody, all your stakeholders, everybody, yeah, like Piyush pointed out, the savings, very important. So bottom line, everybody does this project to achieve this financial savings and plus the cost. So you understand the difference between cost. Cost is nothing but how much money do we require to do this project, the budget, right? And savings is nothing but how much of savings do we get. So both are important. Okay, so project leader. So all this will be covered over here under the resources, the leader, the mentor, team members. Okay, so when I say resources, Kavya, we will have the project leader, the mentor, and the team members getting covered over here. Under stakeholders, we'll have our sponsors, customers, and anybody else. All right. Okay, so we have just listed down the components of the charter. So we should have a project plan, or I would say these are key milestones. Yes. So guys, please let me know in case if I'm making any spelling mistakes, because I'm writing as well as typing both. So I may make any typo errors. So please let me know, because I want the notepad to be correct. Okay. Yes, Piyush, we'll look at that also. So we have our project plan. Yes. Timelines, start and end of the project, problem statement, goal statement, baseline and target, scope, stakeholders, resources required for the project, your business case, savings, and the budget of the project. Okay. All right. Now let's take a look at a simple template of a charter. Okay. So I just open a template. So this is like a one slider. So guys, I'm quite sure most of you have your own templates, right? In Accenture, you have your own template, pretty much on the same lines. So what we'll do is, with the help of this template, I'll quickly explain everything So this is nothing but the timelines. Okay. Now let's say we are starting the project in February 2018. And then maybe we are ending it in, okay, can't write very well with this, just trying to manage. Okay. So these are the timelines, the start and the end of the project. So here you can put in the names of the sponsor. So everybody understands who's a sponsor, right? The person who allocates the resources. So when I say resources, it's not just the money, it's the time, the money, the budget for the project, the labor in terms of person, infrastructure, everything. So he's the person, the sponsor is the person who gives you all these resources. Sure, I can put it in the, I can actually put it in the Google Drive link, Arjit, but just one request not to share this, I mean, with anybody, it's just for our class. Okay, thank you. I mean, the reason for this, guys, is because these documents, some of these documents are from my ex-organizations, and you know about the data privacy laws and all that stuff. So that's the only reason. All right, thank you. Okay, next. So your sponsor's name will come over here. Who's the mentor? You all understand who's a mentor, the master black belt. See, the mentor is usually a master black belt or a black belt. The mentor's name will come over here. Who is leading this project? Again, what kind of a project is this? Is this a green belt or a black belt or a yellow belt project? Right? And then signature is not really required, just the names. You can list down the names of the team members. Okay. So the timelines, all the resources will be coming in over here. Now, problem and goal statement. You need to put your problem over here and your goal. Okay, so you can mention currently our accuracy is like we are at 90%, and then the goal statement would be we need to improve it to 95%. Okay, so I'll just give you a problem statement. Currently our accuracy is at a 90% and we need to improve it to a 95%. And you can put by the end of, you know, maybe last quarter or third quarter of 2018 or whatever, a time bound goal. All right. Okay. After the problem and goal statement, you're supposed to be putting your in and out scope. So what is scope? Scope is nothing but the boundary in which you're supposed to be working. For example, let's say we are taking an example of you're doing this project for, I mean, maybe you're doing it for a particular process. Okay. Let's say you're doing it for the accounts process. Sorry, guys, can't write very well. Maybe it's readable, right? And so if your in scope is accounts process or AP, AR, whatever, right? So what is your out scope? Rest of the processes. Right? So you're focusing only on the accounts process and rest of the processes are out of scope. Right? So we can discuss, give different examples. For example, let's say you're doing a project on a bank. Let's say you're working for Citibank. So if my scope is Citibank India, all India branches, then what will be my out of scope? Just giving few more examples of scope. So if my scope, I'm concentrating on Citibank India only. So what is my out of scope? So that will be the rest of the world. Right? Like Nilesh says, it will be the rest of the world. I'm not going to be touching the other countries. All right. Okay, so that was about scope. Next, coming to the current and target. You're supposed to be clearly mentioning in the charter what is our current accuracy and where we are supposed to be reaching. You can also calculate in sigma values. I'm roughly putting, these are not correct numbers, but if you're saying that currently we are at 3 sigma, we have to focus on reaching a 4 sigma. Yes, so that also you need to document in the charter. Next, coming to the business case, this is very, very important. What is the business case? It's like why we need to do this project. Okay, why should we be doing this project? Is it worth to do this project? So whenever you present this charter to the stakeholders, they will be primarily looking at your business case and your financial savings. That's the bottom line, right? So why we should be doing the project? Is it worth to do the project? That is something which is supposed to be coming over here under the business case. And of course, you know that you're supposed to be putting some approximate financial savings. Maybe at this time you will not have exact savings, but approximate savings. At the end of the project, you can calculate the savings and put it the total savings. Okay, very, very important. And then the basic schedule, the key milestones. This is nothing but the key milestones. It's like, for example, let's say you will be doing the define phase, you'll be completing by Feb 28th. You'll be doing the measure by March 30th, whatever. So approximate dates over here, the key milestones as to when you will be doing completing each of the 5 phases. Okay, so any doubts on this charter? I think with this template, everything is pretty clear. So guys, concluding on the charter, the idea over here is that even if somebody, let's say I'm not from your project, okay, I'm not from your project, but by looking at your charter, I should be able to understand, even if I'm not a part of your project, I should be able to understand what you guys are doing in this project. Okay, so that's the idea of a charter. Anybody who's looking at the charter should get a fair idea about what the project team is trying to achieve. So it should contain all the important details about the project. Yeah, like Arjit adding to, like Arjit adds to this, it should be a detailed description of your project so that everybody understands what you're trying to achieve over here. Okay, all right, next. So I think nothing much about the charter. That's it. I mean, it's a tool, which helps us to document. So I think we have completed everything over here. Okay, next we have around 10 minutes left for the calculation. So does anybody have a hard stop at 1 o'clock? Let me know, because the calculation may take 15-20 minutes. So I want to know if people are okay to continue up till 1:10, or if somebody has to go, then we'll continue in our next class. So let me know if anybody is not okay. Okay, I think almost everybody is fine. Please let me know if anybody is not okay, let me know. So next, I will just be doing quickly, I'll be spending 10-15 minutes on the sigma calculation. It's pretty simple. So let me just concentrate and finish this off. Okay, so this is one of the define phase tool. So that's it, the components of the charter, and everybody knows what is the meaning of this. Next, we will do one of our measure phase tools. I'm quite sure most of you will be interested to know how the sigma calculation is done. Okay, so I'll take up the SciPOC which is left the next week, and today I will just do the sigma calculation. Okay, now, so this is actually one of the measure phase tools, the sigma calculation. Yeah, the video also, it's just a 5 minutes video, so I'll just play the video at the end. Okay, so anybody doesn't have the time for the video, maybe you can just later on watch it. Okay, now sigma calculation. Anybody who's already reporting out sigma values here? Anybody who's already calculating sigma values? Looks like nobody is doing it. Okay, no problem, guys. So what I'll do is I just have an example over here itself. So I'll just take you through a quick example of how to do sigma calculation. So I don't want you to look at the opportunity as of now, the definition. Okay, it may confuse you. So we'll directly go to the example. Now, all of you know what is, let's move on to the example and I will teach you sigma calculation with this example. All of you know what is a PO, right? A purchase order. So everybody is used to, I mean, all of us have done online shopping. So what happens as soon as we order something online, whether it's on Amazon or Flipkart or Snapdeal, whatever, or eBay, right? The popular online shopping sites. So as soon as you order something, there is a purchase order which is created, correct? Everybody understands what is a PO. Now, let's say that you're auditing these POs. Everybody understands what's the meaning of audit. And suppose the management tells us while doing this audit, let's say you all are auditing these POs, you all are QAs who are doing this. Now, suppose the management tells us to focus on 4 particular fields. See, a PO may have 10 odd fields, 10 to 15 odd fields. Okay. But the management, maybe they want us to focus on 4 important fields, or the PO is inspected for supplier address, quantity, price, and time to delivery. Okay, so you're getting my point. Although there are 10 to 15 different fields, but the management wants us to focus on the address, the quantity, the price, and the time to delivery. These are the 4 important fields. Okay, what is the meaning of this important fields? These are the opportunities for errors. That means to say, if there is any error in any one of these 4 fields, then we cannot pass the PO. We have to fail the PO. When I say pass the PO, we can't deliver. We have to fail the PO and then, yeah, do rework on it. Okay. Now let's discuss the impact. What happens? Impact of a few of them. What happens if the address is wrong? Let's say a simple thing. Instead of 29, door number 29, if somebody makes a small typo error and types it as door number 39, it's a small typo error. Yeah, sorry, Arjit, no problem. I'll repeat it. So, Arjit, what I'm saying is, in this example, we are auditing POs. So, even though a PO may have 10 to 15 fields, 10 to 15, 20 fields, but the management wants us to pay special attention to 4 fields: that supplier address, quantity of the product, price of the product, and time to delivery. Now, if these are the 4 opportunities which they want us to look at, or we may call this as critical fields. Okay. Now, what do we mean by this critical fields? It means that if there is any problem in these fields, any mistake, then we cannot pass the PO. Okay. Whereas if there are some small errors, we can still pass the PO. But any mistake in these 4 fields, we cannot pass the PO. All right. I hope so far it is clear. Okay. Now let's discuss the impact of this having an error in an address. Like instead of 29, door number 29, we are just typing it as door number 39. So what is the impact of this? Just discussing the impact over here, Arjun. Is it critical? What happens when there's a mistake in the address, a small mistake like this? Instead of 29, they've typed it as 39, door number 39. Don't you think the delivery will actually go to an entirely different person? Yes? Wrong address. Either it fails or it is delivered to the wrong person, which is a critical error. Again, coming to the quantity, suppose you have ordered for 2 pair of jeans and you have paid the price, the money for 2 pair of jeans. When the guy comes, he delivers only 1. It's a critical error. Now coming to price, let's say it is cash on delivery, right? When you actually purchase it, they promised you for 5,000 rupees. Okay, 5,000 rupees. So let's say it's cash on delivery. The guy said 5,000 rupees. Now, when he comes home, he's asking you for 500 extra. He's saying some delivery charges and all. You will not be ready to pay it, correct? So all these are important, the time to delivery. Yes. Okay, now with this understanding, let's move on to the next. Yes, let's move on to the next slide. Everybody is understood. So guys, basically what I'm trying to tell is these are the 4 critical fields which you need to pay special attention to. Okay, now let's go to the next slide. So you're auditing a set of 100 purchase orders, and the errors are given over here. So one error for supplier name incorrect, one for supplier door number incorrect, quantity higher is also a problem, quantity lower is also a problem, price higher is also a problem, price lower is also a problem. Yes, so where does this error supplier name incorrect come into? The address, door number, name. Quantity higher, who's at loss? Is it the company or you? The company is at loss, right? On the other hand, if the quantity is less, you will not agree to get that. You'll return it. Price higher, you will not be ready to pay for that. Price lower, the company is at loss. Okay, so all of these things has to be exact. The quantity, the price, everything has to be exact. Okay, now these are some of the errors which has happened. Now, how many errors have we got over here in total? Okay, now we have got 10 errors. Now, if you have to go and report this to the management, you finished this audit and now you're going and reporting this to the management. So how will you go ahead and report this to the management? So you're supposed to be reporting out the outcome of the audit to the management. How will you do it? 10%, yeah, one way of looking at it is 10% defect. On the other hand, you can also say it as 90% accurate, right? It's like, guys, see, when usually they give this example, right? When a glass is containing half, I mean, water, half, you can either say it is half filled or half empty, right? So you can report it as 10% defects or 90% accurate, whatever. Okay, now, so let me just open it in an Excel. Yes, so out of 100 POs, you had 10 errors. So we can say that, boss, we had 10 defects out of 100 POs. So you can report it as 10% defect rate or 90% accurate. Either look at, I mean, the glass is half full or half empty. Now, so you can just say that we had 10 defects out of 100 POs. Now, what is the Six Sigma way of reporting this out? Okay, it is already given by, yeah. So Arjit, I mean, what I would say is, see, Six Sigma and Lean sometimes becomes very boring. So it's like, so guys, this was the first session. So next week we'll have some time for some jokes and all. We'll keep it more of fun. Along with our learning, we'll have some fun. So I would encourage you guys to come up with some jokes. Today I didn't have time because being the first session, some people had some issues in joining and all. Hopefully next week we'll have time because we will no longer have our login issues and all that. Okay. Now, what was the Six Sigma? So this is the normal way of reporting it out, right? Now, scrolling down, Kavya has already given it and whatever. Now, what is the Six Sigma way of reporting this out? Scrolling down. Yes. So the Six Sigma way of reporting out the same thing is, boss, we had 10 defects out of 400 opportunities. Yes. So it's like, in both the cases, we are actually saying the same thing. Boss, we had 10 defects out of 100 POs. In the second case, we are telling the same thing, but in a Six Sigma way. we can say that, boss, we had only 10 defects, even though we had 400 opportunities or of making errors or defects. Okay. Now, where do we get this 400? How did Kavya get this 400 opportunities? It's very simple. One PO has 4 opportunities. Yes. 4 chances of making errors. So in case of 100 POs, we are having 400 opportunities of making errors. So everybody is understood? Yeah, 4 critical fields. So in one PO, if there are 4 fields in which we can make error, in 100 POs, we'll have 400 critical chances of making errors. Yeah, so guys, let's just help out Suraj. Is this happening to everybody else? So just wanted to make out whether the issue is from my end, or, I mean, is Suraj facing an issue? Is it happening to everybody else? Okay, Suraj, if you can try connecting to a LAN cable, that will be really good. Because the speed may not be sufficient to support GoToMeeting. Then only you will have a break in the audio. Okay, all right. So everybody is understood so far? Yes, how did we get this? Now let's move on to the next slide and let's finish this off in the next 5 minutes now. Since you have understood, it's going to be very easy. Yes. So the next thing is the next slide. The first thing we are supposed to be calculating. Okay, the first thing we are supposed to be calculating while for doing a sigma calculation is calculate something called as defects per opportunity, DPO. So it's nothing but the defects per opportunity is nothing but DPO. It's a ratio of your total number of defects divided by total number of opportunities. That's all. Okay. So guys, even though the DPO is given over here, already calculated, but let's do it step by step so that all of you understand. Let's calculate the defects per opportunity. So how many defects did we have total? The numerator is the defects divided by total opportunities. So you guys give me the number so that you will understand the calculation. How many defects did we have? 10. Yes, total defects. Total opportunities. How many opportunities per PO or per piece? Let's go step by step so that everybody understands. 4. How many POs did we, what was the total volume? How many POs did we audit? The total volume, yes. So this is how we are going step by step. So 10 divided by 400 is what you get over here. 4 into 100, 400. So 10 divided by 400, you already have the answer over here is a 0.025. So anybody who did not understand this calculation, please let me know. So we calculate the DPO, very simple, defects divided by total number of opportunities, we get a 0.025. Now the next question which comes to our mind is, but you saw that sigma number is usually expressed in DPMO and not DPO, correct? So going back to this table again, sigma is usually expressed in DPMO and not DPO. So what do we do next? Yes, we have to convert this into DPMO. And how do we do that? Very simple, like Kavya says. Yes. The next slide. Very simple. You need to convert your DPO into DPMO just by multiplying by 1 million or 10 to the power of 6. Make sure you have 6 zeros, otherwise you'll go wrong, right? So all you need to do is multiply by a 10 to the power of 6. That gives you a 25,000. That's all, right? Multiply by 1 million. That gives you a 25,000. Now, can you guess the sigma level of this DPMO of 25,000? You want me to open this again, this table, so that it helps you to guess? Okay, so Ranjit, Arjit, 3 between and okay. Okay, so guys, yes, so the sigma level is somewhere in between 3 to 4 sigma. So everybody knows this is the sigma symbol, correct? Yes, but unfortunately we don't 6 sigma. So we don't have this symbol in the keyboard. That's why I'm not able to type it. Maybe our children will have keyboards with sigma symbol in future. Okay, fine. So you see very well that 66,800 is greater than 25,000. Whereas 6,210 is lesser than 25,000. Have I used the correct signs? Yes, okay. Sometimes I myself get confused between this greater than and less than signs. So you see that 66,800 is greater and 6,210 is lesser. So the sigma value has to fall between 3 and 4. Yes, approximately like Piyush says, it is 3.3. Now,
Aisha,
yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm sounding, very naive, but where did you get the 66,800 from?
Okay, so this is actually a standard which is given by Motorola.
Okay.
So this is a standard which everybody follows.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. All right. So to continue, so we know that, so in this case, we don't see this 25,000. So where can we get the exact sigma level? So for this, what we have to do is we have to follow a table. So let me quickly open up the table. It's called as a DPMO table. It's similar to your log table. So as children, we have seen this logarithm table or whatever. So this is called as a DPMO or a sigma value table. I'm not sure whether it is visible to you, not very clear. So you can just download this from the net, or even I can share with you on, this is a common table like your logarithm table. You can download from the net, or you can also, I'll be able to share this with you. Now for exact values of the sigma, you have to look at this table. So I'll quickly teach you how to look at this table. So guys, this is a standard table. Again, you see 1 sigma over here, and you see the same number, that is 6,91,000 DPMO. The third column is the DPMO. And this is the sigma value. So likewise, you see 2 sigma and 3,09,000. So approximately, correct? And when you scroll down, you can see 3 sigma and a 66,800. The same thing what you have seen in the other table, right? Plus, you also see the fractions in between, the decimals in between 1 and 2. And you see the DPMO, correct? All the individual values. The same way, scrolling this side. So you see a 4 sigma over here, 6,210, a 5 sigma, DPMO is 233. So you can see that these gray lines, yes, is nothing but the integer value, and all the decimal points are in between. Scrolling down further, you can see the 6 sigma over here. So 6 sigma is nothing but making just 3.4 defects per million opportunity. Correct? And this table also gives you the accuracy in the second column. So what is the accuracy of a process which is operating at a 6 sigma? This is a very common question in the exams. So I want everybody to pay attention over here. So what is, suppose there's a question, what is the accuracy of a process which is operating at a 6 sigma capability? What is the answer? So what is the accuracy of a process which is operating at a 6 sigma capability? The answer is, it's a 99.99966% accuracy. Yes, you can also convert it to, you can also round it off to 99.9997. Okay, so Arjit, to show that it's such a great accuracy, we generally leave it for, we round it off to either 4 or 5 decimal places. Okay, so this is the accuracy of a process operating at a 6 sigma. You can do it for reporting purposes, you can do it, but more the decimals, it will be more. See, in our cases, normal reporting, we can round it off to 2 places. Okay. All right. Now going back to our thing. So what did we get? We got a 25,000. So do we see a 25,000 in this table? We don't see an exact 25,000. So we actually see two numbers over here. We may not get an exact 25,000 over here. We see two numbers over here. One is 22,800 and one is 28,700. So which one do we take? We take the one which is more closer. So the difference is less between 25,000 and 22,800. Here the difference is more. So we take the one which is more closer. Yes. And we take the corresponding sigma value, that is a 3.5. So Piyush, your guess was almost correct. It is very close to 3.5. And the accuracy is a 97.72. Okay, so everybody understood how to look at this table. So again, this is a standard table which will be available on the net. It's like a logarithm table. These values will not change. Okay, so guys, what I'll do, just give me 1 minute here. I'll just quickly post the steps on the notepad for you and conclude in shortly in 2 minutes, and then we can leave. So just give me 1 minute here. Once you have the notes on the notepad, the steps become very clear. Yes. So I've just put the steps over here. So just concluding on this, the first step was calculate the DPO, which is nothing but a ratio defects divided by opportunities per piece into the volume. Yes, 10, 4 per PO into 100, and then DPO into 1 million. So you got the DPO as 0.025, I'm correct. And then multiply by 10 to the power of 6, you get 25,000. And the third step, so this is just very simple 3 steps. Calculate the DPO, calculate the DPMO, and then look at the table to get the sigma value. 3 simple steps. In fact, I will just change it to convert it into DPMO instead of calculating. So that's it, very simple. If anybody has any doubts, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll wrap up. And also just wanted to quickly, I mean, everybody knows about this, but just wanted to put this over here so that everybody is aware of it. Most of you know about it. The various levels under Six Sigma. So most of you have heard about the yellow belt, which is a very basic course. You're doing the advanced course, which is a clean belt. And then we have an expert course. The next level is black belt, and finally the master's course. Today, the last course under the last belt or the last course is a master black belt, the MBB. Okay, Ranjit, right now I don't have numbers. I mean, this was one example which I have. What I'll do is, for accuracy, I need to get some numbers. So if you have to calculate the 99.999 whatever, I need to get some numbers. I'll get an example of a process where the volume and the defects, so that we can, I can actually show you the calculation of 99.9. That's what you want, right? Yes. So Ranjit, just give me some time. What I'll do is I'll just make a note of it, because right now I don't have any example of numbers. I will just say that get an example of Six Sigma process with data. All right. Okay. So Arjit, I'm not very sure because what happens is I take different classes. I mean, I take it for other institutes also. So if I'm occupied, then I may not be able to take because I conduct it for different institutes. December is a lean time, especially in the US and also that's why I'm free in December. But yes, I mean, if I'm free, definitely I would love to catch up with the batch again. All right. Okay. So guys, what I'll do is I will just, since we are a little bit over our time, what I'll do is I'll just share the video, the link with you on the chat itself. You can just watch this video. The video is all about implementation of lean in Emirates flight kitchen. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to watch out how, I'm just Googling for the video. It's like, or do you have time to watch the video for 5 minutes with me? Okay, maybe I can just share the link. Just give me 1 minute because I'm not sure how fast it will be. I'm just Googling it and giving it to you. Guys, sorry, I don't know why the link is such a huge one. Okay, but I've posted the link so you can watch the video after the class, not an issue. Okay, so Piyush, coming to the formula, it'll actually give you, whether you do it in this way or the other way, it'll actually give you the same result. Okay, so guys, I'm not playing the video now because I don't know how it will be on on GoToMeeting, whether you'll be able to see the real-time video. So I've just posted the link. You can just watch it on your own. Yes, the link is here. All right. Okay, guys, so thank you very much. Please let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'm going to be wrapping up over here and you can actually, watch the video whenever you have time. Okay, so what you need to look at is how systematic everything is with the implementation of lean. You can watch out for the beautiful fires, for the visual management. Everything is so clean, so systematic. You can hardly see any one of the 8 wastes. Okay, so I think with this, I'm going to be wrapping up over here. And thank you very much. I'll see you all next time.
Thank you, Aisha. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.